Hello students and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 29th April 2025. So let's get started with our discussion guys. And most of the articles are repeating regarding this terrorism and as well as regarding this US trade war. Okay, so we are going to see very important articles which are very relevant from our examination point of view from both prelims and as well as mains. Okay, so while I'm discussing that article, I will be also telling you how you can expect questions from prelims, mains and interview point of view. So don't skip this video. So try to watch this analysis on the daily basis so that you will be getting updated with the current affairs and you will be also understanding how UPSC can ask the question and you can prepare according to that, because here you are watching this video to become a civil servant, not to become or not to do PhD or PG like that, right? So what is the examination demand? Try to understand that and try to prepare accordingly so that you will be not wasting much amount of time in your preparation and as well as you can save money, everything. Okay. So now let us see the first article guys. So actually it is also a repeated article. Already we discussed about this topic I think 1 week ago. So this article is about India-France finalized agreement for 26 Rafale EMS. Okay, it is talking about Rafale jets. Okay, so actually it is not for the first time India made an agreement with France. Earlier also we made agreement and we got 36 Rafale jets. But now especially we are focusing on EM, that is nothing but marine. Rafale marine jets. That means, so these are the jets which are mainly used by Indian Navy. So whatever the agreement that we made earlier and whatever the Rafale jets that we got earlier from France, they were used by this Army and Air Force. And now we are going to have this 26 Rafale jets for our Indian Navy. That is the thing that you have to remember guys. Okay, so now let us see this article. So what is the keyword? Keyword is India-France relations. Keyword is India-France relations. From which subject it is important guys? From GS paper 2 under international relations, this article is important. So what you have to see from this international relations, and this international relations, it is for your mains guys, you have to remember this. And in your prelims you will be also getting questions from international relations, because in your prelims syllabus they added national and international issues. From that point of view also it is important. So first of all I'll tell about what you have to prepare for your mains. So you have to say about history. So when this India and France relation started. And next you have to see why this relation started. And next, already you know that France is an European country and it is developed. That means we can expect technology, we can expect advancements, investments from this France. Okay. And now you have to see about important areas of cooperation. So in which areas India and France are cooperating together. In that areas of cooperation you can add this defense. So which jets you are getting from France? Rafale jets. Okay, and next you have to see what are the challenges we are facing between India and France relation. You have to see that. And finally you have to see what is the way forward. So if you do all these dimensions, then your mains will be done guys. So from prelims point of view, what you have to see is map. So which countries are sharing boundaries with this France, and if there are any important water bodies and important physiological divisions, you have to see that. That is from your prelims point of view. And there is one more keyword, that is Rafale jets, right? So here this Rafale is important from your GS paper 3 under science and technology guys. So this topic you will be studying under which chapter? Defense technology. So in this defense technology under this aircrafts. So here you have to see about different types of aircrafts and what is this Rafale is about. And now I'm talking about Rafale EM. It is nothing but marine version. So you have to see about different versions of this Rafales and what are the difference between 3 versions. Actually 3 versions are there. So what are the difference between each and every version you have to know guys. So you have to cover all these things very, very clearly so that if there is any question from this topic, you have to attend that. And now let us see the context. So why it is a news? So this article is saying that India and France finally finalized intergovernmental agreement. And in this agreement, what they did? So they are going to get 26 Rafale jets. Okay, and these jets now, they are dedicated for Indian Navy. For Indian Navy purpose, 26 Rafale M fighter jets we are going to get. So now let us see the details. So here, how many jets we are purchasing? So 26 Rafale M fighter jets we are going to get from France. And next one here is, what is the timeline? So half amount we'll be getting by around 2028. And actually we are going to expect this all Rafale jets to India by 2030. And actually one more important thing here is, in our earlier class also I said that whenever we are making this kind of defense deals with other countries, so now we are also focusing on transfer of technology. That is one important part of this agreement, guys. You have to remember this for sure. So because of this agreement, we are going to generate thousands of jobs and as well as revenue for numerous MSME companies of our country. And even this deal also includes technology transfer. Okay, and even whoever the crew who are going to operate this jets, they will be getting training in both India and as well as even in France. Okay, so if you see about the variants of this Rafale, we have three variants as I said earlier. So first one is Rafale C, second one is Rafale B, and third one is Rafale M. So Rafale C is a single seat Air Force version, very important. Rafale C is Air Force version, it is a single seat. And Rafale B is a twin seat version. And next one is Rafale M. Rafale M is a naval version and even it is also a single seat version. Okay, and other versions are Rafale N, it is for nuclear strike, and Rafale R, it is for research and development. So remember at least these three first. And what are the features of this Rafale M? So actually it is a single seat 4+ generation fighter jet. Okay, and it is having radar. And this one is, it is also capable of deep strikes, air defense, reconnaissance and maritime operations. And even it is equipped with some advanced armaments like Meteor, multi-mission, air-to-air missile system, Scalp missiles, etc. So these are some important features of this Rafale M, guys. And now let us see the next article. Yes, title says UP government launches drive against encroachments on India-Nepal border. So what is the keyword? Keyword is India-Nepal border. So actually this article is saying that along India-Nepal border there are lots of illegal encroachments. And now we are going to clear that. So why now UP government is taking this step? Because recently Pahalgam issue happened, right? Terror attack in this Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir, right? So after that attack, we went for checking off encroachments along this India-Pakistan border. So lots of illegal encroachments are there along this India-Pakistan border. So because of this, now we are checking with other country borders also. Okay, so let me go deep into this topic. So India is sharing direct boundary with Pakistan here, Afghanistan on map. Here we have China, Nepal we have Bhutan, and here we have Myanmar, and here we have Bangladesh. So with these countries we are sharing direct boundary. So with which countries we are having issue now? So here India, Pakistan, yes, this border is having high tension, and even India and China, right? And even Bangladesh also sometimes issues are going on because of this recent outrage which happened and political instability in this Bangladesh. And even along this Myanmar, recently we removed this free movement regime, right? Okay, now along this India and Nepal border also we are having some issues. So what is that issue? It is nothing but illegal encroachments. Okay, illegal encroachments across this India-Nepal border. Okay. So from which subject we can see this, guys? So whenever we are talking about this India-Nepal relations, we can directly connect it with GS paper 2 under international relations, and it is coming under part of bilateral relations because we are sharing direct boundary with Nepal. So whenever we are having any issues across this border, from which subject we can see this, guys? From GS paper 3 under internal security. So this topic is important from both international relations and as well as internal security from GS paper 2 and GS paper 3 respectively. Okay. So now what are the things that you have to see? So from India-Nepal relations, we have to see about history and we have to see about areas of cooperation. And next you have to see what are the challenges we have. And next you have to see what is the way forward. So all these areas that you have to see from India-Nepal, from international relations. So from here, GS paper 3, you have to see about border challenges. Or you have to see about border security issues. So what are the issues that we are having across Indian border? And next you have to see about border security forces. So which forces are taking care of our borders? And next you have to see about what is the role of BRO, Border Road Organization. And next you have to see about what are the measures taken by the government already. And you have to focus on this area much. Okay, so these all are the areas that you have to see from your international relations and as well as your GS paper 3 from internal security. Okay, now let us see this article and let us see the context first. UP government initiated a campaign, and this campaign which mainly aimed at reclaiming of state-owned land and removing of illegal structures within 15-kilometer radius of the Nepal border. So within 15-kilometer radius of the Nepal border, we are searching for illegal constructions and we are trying to clearing them. Okay, why? Because recently there are security concerns that had been happened aftermath of this terror attack in this Pahalgam region of Jammu and Kashmir. And actually at that area, so after managing everything, so yes, we identified around 226 illegal encroachments. Okay, from April 25th to April 27th. So in the same way across this Nepal and India border also, we are trying to remove this illegal encroachment so that we can enhance security in our country. Okay, now let us see the points which are highlighted in this article. The first one here is UP government launched a campaign to reclaim state-owned land along this Nepal border. First important point. Why? Because 227 illegal construction had been found. And next one here is which are those illegal constructions you have to make a note. That is mosque and as well as madrasas. Madrasas are nothing but education institutions of Islam or Muslims. And multiple unlicensed madrasas they are seen in this region. And next one here is traders are also expressed some concerns about the economic impact. So whenever we are going for sudden eviction of the people there, so local businesses, local traders, they will be getting affected, right? That will also leads to the loss of economic activities. So that is one important concern which had been raised. And even opposition parties, they are criticizing this step of UP government because it is focusing on religious institutions. Because which are those illegal constructions here? Mosque and as well as madrasas. They belongs to Muslims. And next one here is, now this article is saying that we have to come up with a balance between the law enforcement and as well as we have to go for timely relocation of those people, and even we have to adapt to the changing of business environment there. Okay, now let us see the problem with India and Nepal border. India and Nepal is also having porous border. That means the free movement of the people which happens. So Indian borders with Nepal and as well as Bhutan, they are open. Okay, so because of this, what happened? We are having lots of challenges. What are those challenges? Immigration happen, illegal migration will happen, and as well as infiltration will be happen. So if there is a huge infiltration, that will lead to this increasing of security threats and security concerns of the country. So what are the initiatives taken so far for the border management? So first one is we already came up with this comprehensive integrated border management system. So what is a system? It is an integration of manpower, sensors, network, intelligence, and command control solutions, so that we can know what is happening in that area. That is nothing but situation awareness we can know, so that we can go for quick response. It is there across India-Pakistan border and as well as India-Bangladesh border. And next one here is, whenever we are sharing boundary with other countries, we will be having the check post, so that there will be the proper movement of the people. So integrated check post we are having. Okay, so here integrated check posts, they are present and they will be managed by regulatory agencies, and even border guarding forces are there, and the customs and immigration. So even they will be getting some support services, etc. And next one here is, we have this border area development program. And this program, which aims to meet the special development needs of the people who are living near this international boundary. And this one here is, recently government came up with this program called as Vibrant Village Program. So actually what is happening across this India-China border is, they are developing model villages. So to counter that, our Indian government came up with this Vibrant Village Program. So that as part of this border area development strategy, we are focusing on development of around 100 villages along this LAC, that is across India-China border. And next one here is, we are focusing on border infrastructure and management scheme. And this scheme is also aimed at infrastructure development and as well as technological solutions at India's international borders. Okay, and apart from that, we are also having this Bharatmala Pariyojana scheme. So under that, we are focusing on construction of the border roads along these international boundaries, and even we are using high-tech surveillance. For example, we are using drones, we are using sensor-based monitoring system, so that we can strengthen our security and as well as surveillance. And even Indian government or Indian army is using drones, and the names of the drones you have to make a note. That is Nishant, Ghatak, and as well as Rustam, etc. across this India and Pakistan border. And now let us see the next article, guys. Title says, Digha gears up for inauguration of Jagannath temple. So actually it is not Puri Jagannath temple. So there is the similar temple architecture which is going to be opened soon by our Mamata Banerjee. So because of this, yes, you may get a question regarding this Jagannath temple of Puri. So what is temple architecture? Okay. So this article is important from your art and culture. So in art and culture, you have a chapter called as temple architecture. So in this, we have three types of temple architecture in our country. First one is Nagara, Dravida, and Vesara. So in the northern part, we have Nagara. In southern part, we have Dravida. In middle, we have Vesara. Okay. So you have to see about important features of this Nagara style of temple architecture, Dravida, Vesara, and even you have to know the sub-schools of Nagara, sub-schools of Dravida, and as well as Vesara. You have to know each and everything. And in 2018, there was a question regarding this temple architecture, very simple question. And even in 2019 also there was a question. In 2019, the question was, Kalyana Mandapas, they were added by which dynasty, which kingdom, that is Vijayanagara. So that much simple question that you can expect from this temple architecture, and it's a very high yielding area, guys. You have to focus on this and try to make notes of this for sure. Okay, now let us see some important facts regarding this Jagannath temple architecture. So it is a striking example of Kalinga architecture, and is one of the distinct style of temple architecture in Odisha region. Okay, and inside this temple complex itself, we can see shrines, gardens, sacred tanks, and even that can create some good atmosphere for devotion. And next one here is, the main temple is located at the center of inner courtyard, and it is mainly present at a raised platform. Raised platform is one of the important characteristics of Nagara style of temple architecture. Okay, so see that once. And actually the one important thing that you have to remember regarding this Puri Jagannath temple is, idols are made up of wood. Okay, and Rath Yatra is very famous, guys. You have to say about this Puri Jagannath Rath Yatra also. And now let us see the next article. Title says, in 2024, India's military expenditure was 9 times that of Pakistan, says SIPRI. This is very, very important article. It is talking about India's military expenditure. So where we can see this topic? We can see this topic from GS paper 3 on a defense point of view. Okay. Okay. So now let us see here. What you have to see is, you have to see why there is increasing of India's military expenditure, first point. And next one is you have to see about what is the CIPRI. So these are the two areas that we have to see. So if we come to the first question, why there is increasing of India's expenditure? So what is happening along this India-Pakistan border? Again, there is rising of tensions. And recently Pahalgam issue happened. And because of that, lots of deviations which are happening in India and Pakistan relations. So Pakistan is not allowing to use even airspace. And India stopped this Indus Water Treaty. And even Pakistan said that we are going to violate this Shimla Agreement of 1972. So because of this, there is increasing of tensions across this India-Pakistan border or India-Pakistan relations. And even if you see from India-China, we don't have good relations. And even from 2020 onwards, there is no stand-up across this LAC region. And even recently, we stopped this free movement regime between India and Myanmar. And even Bangladesh, we are not having good relations. And even Bangladesh is under control of now Yunus. So Yunus gave some satires, or he made some statement which is hurting India's sentiments about northeastern region, right? So because of all these things, yes, we have to improve our security and safety at this border region, right? So for this, yes, India's military expenditure had been increased. So how this India's military expenditure had been increased? So we are importing a good amount of infrastructure, especially some equipments. And even in the first article itself, we studied that India and France, they finalized agreement for 26 Rafale jets. They will not give for free of cost, right? We have to give in return money. We are buying from them. So because of this, yes, there is increasing of India's military expenditure, and this is the thing which mainly said by CIPRI. So here you have to say about topmost countries which are spending more on this military apart from India. On that also you may get a prelims based question, guys. So if you see the context, it is saying that in 2024, India's military expenditure was nearly 9 times higher than that of Pakistan, according to this CIPRI report. And India is ranking 5th across the world. So India is ranking 5th in this military expenditure. So which are those other countries which are spending more? So we have top 5 military spenders. First one is US, second one is China, third one is Russia, fourth one is Germany. And you have to note down this. First is US, second is China, third is Russia, fourth is Germany, and fifth is India. So if you see some facts about this CIPRI, it is an independent international institute, and this CIPRI is dedicated to research into conflict, armaments, arms control, and as well as disarmament. And when it was formed in year 1966 in Stockholm, and this Stockholm is located in Sweden. And what does CIPRI do? So CIPRI will be releasing data or analysis and recommendations, which is based on open sources to policymakers, researchers, etc. So this is about the CIPRI. And now let us see the next article. So title says, not strong enough. So this article is talking about United Nations Security Council. So what happened here is, recently Pahalgam issue happened. Pahalgam is a terror attack which happened in Jammu and Kashmir, right? So that led to violence. Yes or no, 26 people were killed, and especially males were killed, and that led to human rights violation, right? So actually we have one organization, international level. At international level we have one organization called as United Nations Security Council. And what is the responsibility of this UNSC? That is to establish peace and security of the countries. So here what happened after this Pahalgam issue? So one statement which had been passed in this United Nations Security Council, and that statement is, with that statement India is not satisfied. So because of this is in news. So let us see what are the mistakes done by United Nations Security Council regarding that Pahalgam issue. And this topic is important from your GS paper 2 under international relations. So in international relations, you will be getting 3 questions, guys. One is from India and bilateral relations, and India and its neighborhood, and next one here is organizations. So United Nations Security Council is one of the important organization, and India is not satisfied with this statement of United Nations Security Council. So there is a high chance of getting question regarding UNSC in your prelims and as well as in mains. So let us see this article and let us try to understand. So United Nations Security Council released a statement, and this statement is condemning recent terror attack in this Pahalgam. But whatever the things which are made in that statement, they are not satisfied by India. So actually, you know that who did this attack? TRF, the resistant front. They themselves announced that yes, we did this attack. But in this United Nations Security Council, they didn't mention about this TRF. Okay. So this United Nations Security Council decision not to name this TRF, the resistance front, as a perpetrator of Pahalgam attack, which diminishes the significance of their condemnation. They said sorry, but they are not announcing this name. Who did this? If they are not announcing the name, whether other countries come to know about this elite sub-organization TRF, which had been formed after 2019? No, that is a one important thing that you have to remember. And next one here is geopolitical influence on security resolutions. So actually, the language of this United Nations Security Council statements that could be the direct result of international geopolitics. So actually, what is the problem here in this United Nations Security Council is, so how many members we have? We have total 15 members. So 5 are permanent P5 and 10 are temporary members. So who are this P5? So we have Russia is there and we have China is there. And which country did this attack? So LET is based on Pakistan-based terror organization, right? So who is supporting this Pakistan? China. So in this P5, China is there. And China is supporting this Pakistan. So because of this, in the statement of United Nations Security Council, which is condemning this attack, but it didn't name this TRF, because TRF is a subgroup of LET, which is Pakistan-based organization. That means, yes, some internal politics are going on in this United Nations Security Council. That's the thing that you have to remember. And India is saying that, yes, with this kind of statements and with this kind of events which are happening in India, we will not keep silent. So we need global action. Okay? That is the thing which mainly said. And next here is, apart from United Nations Security Council, even there are other organizations internationally which are focusing on especially terrorism. So such kind of organization is FATF, Financial Action Task Force. So here India is saying that this Financial Action Task Force need to take this into consideration and it have to penalize this so-and-so organization, so-and-so country. That is the thing which mainly said by our country. Okay, so here what are the things that you have to remember? So first one here is we have different organizations which are there to ensure global stability. So one such kind of organization is United Nations Security Council. Apart from that, we have dedicated organization for countering of terrorism, that is FATF, Financial Action Task Force. So if there is any political influence happening in this United Nations Security Council, we can take help of other organizations where there will be no internal politics. That is the thing which mainly said here. So these are some important topics that appear in our today's Hindi newspaper, guys. So by this I am concluding. Thank you so much for watching, and I think tomorrow and after tomorrow I will be not posting this current affairs class on YouTube. So I'll be covering on the next day, guys. So until then, please keep watching. Thank you so much, and do subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy.